The Hunter is a transition for Mastodon in many ways. Less progressive, less aggressive, even more polished production. No concept, it's in many ways a much simpler record than that came before it. But what is astounding is how despite all these what you could see as downgrades, Mastodon still manages to make a monstrous riff-filled album full of fantastic melodies, aggressive, addictive hooks that all familiar Mastodon feel, and while sure, it is lower on the totem pole for me personally, I could see this being someone's favorite Mastodon record. Let's get to it. Four records of fantastic songwriting, biting production, complex musicality, and inspired lyricism. By this point, Mastodon was quite clearly one of the best and biggest bands of the 2000s. With Crack the Sky being an intense record and all-consuming, it had to be on the guys' minds to just, chill for a while, right? It would be on mine. The Hunter is a record of a band that has plenty of creative juices flowing, but backing down from high concepts for a bit, and just learning to have some fun with their success. It also helps that it is brilliantly fun and brilliantly written. Mastodon still has the fire of the past sound, but weirdly, polishing things sonically this time round isn't just a way to become more accessible to a whole new audience. It's actually a definitive shift away from the early sound that gives the Hunter its own personality when looking at the whole discography up to this point. It isn't the polishing so much as it is the simplifying of the melodies to be able to play more tightly together. Sure, there are moments where you could mistake the sound for dad rock, but I promise you there's much more to the sound than just the simplifying so simps get it. This record isn't trying to be your dad's favorite band, it's trying to be kick-ass, and it's succeeding. Lyrically, I find the album, as I'm sure many do, less important than previous records and concepts, but just as interesting, if not more fun than epic. Some of the favorite moments come in the whole of Curl of the Burl, which I think is a really interesting concept for a song. And Blastroid, which is hilariously immature and gut-punchingly energetic. The Creature Lives has a very Mastodon theming, but doesn't sound exactly like something they would have written musically. Mastodon are still coming up with interesting concepts, and the creativity on show here, for the most part, is pure entertainment. Do I have many complaints? Well, no, not really. I guess my main takeaway in terms of critique is that I wish they would stick roughly to 45-minute records. Whilst I think this album is a ton of fun, if not a gap between more intensive records, close to an hour of this sort of material is probably not really needed and feels a little overkill. Sometimes lyrically and musically it feels like it borders on fun and stupid in a negative way, but for the most part this is kept in check. The Hunter is a great lesson in streamlining an artistic statement and bringing something original to a portfolio of legendary records. To summarize, The Hunter is taking a new direction, an easier direction to just dip your toes into. Less commitment emotionally, less of a time sink. The Hunter is something the Mastodon have never done, ever, and that's just chill. If I get great music like this, I'm fine with it.